we go. Right, apologies everybody for that slightly laboured introduction there. We've had some technical difficulties, but I am finally here live with Julian Stodd. Thanks very much for spending a bit of time with us. So I've mentioned your work in a couple of the talks I've done over the last couple of days, so just wondered if you could introduce yourself to everybody and tell us a bit about you.
So my name is Julian. I am a writer around the social age, the new reality that we sort of find ourselves in now. And my work is mainly about helping organisations understand the realities of the social age, not just the technology, but the evolved sociology behind it. And then I have an organisation which sort of helps them to then develop projects which are, if you like, fit for the social age. So yeah,
which is Sea Salt Learning.
Sea Salt, yes.
Yeah. And you're the captain of Sea Salt Learning. I
Captain,
always like to see
yes,
that. Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. Without my life jacket today, which could be risky.
Yeah,
But
very
yes,
risky.
Yeah.
Okay, so you talked about the differences. Can you sort of explain in a nutshell? And I appreciate there's an awful lot of work gone into it, but just in a few seconds, kind of what the main thrust of the difference between what went before and what is now.
So the main differences are not just the technology. The technology is the visible part of it. It's what the technology facilitates. So the devolution of the democratization of creativity and of publishing means that anybody can connect to communities and build social reputation easily. And social reputation can challenge the formal hierarchical authority within an organisation. So another part of it is the rise of social authority, what I write about under social leadership, which is a complement to formal leadership, but can actually subvert formal leadership as well. So we're seeing that change. And then the other sort of biggest change is the fractured social contract between organisations and individuals. So when career is a fiction, what's going to keep people around? It's got to be because they're engaged, because there's something in it for them.
Absolutely. Really interesting stuff. And so what have you been talking about at CIPD 15?
So I've just done a session this morning with Jane Hart, who does a lot of work around the social learning piece as well. We've been talking around social collaboration in organisations, and in that workshop we were really exploring the tension between the formal structure of the organisation and the co-created collaborative energy of the community. So how do we bring the community voice into organisational conversations? Are we willing as organisations to relinquish an aspect of control, to do something with what those voices are telling us? And these voices are, after all, the people that we hired to do the job in the first place. So that's been the thrust of that piece. And then I'm doing an Ignite session this afternoon, 5 minutes, high speed, on social collaboration again. So on those.
Oh, really good stuff. And just sort of finally, any big plans for the next 12 months? Anything you can share with us that you think is going to happen for you or your organisation?
Well, so my own writing most recently over the last couple of months has been around organisational change in the social age. So looking really at three manifestations of change: organisations which resist it, organisations which are constrained, and organisations which are dynamic. And the really interesting piece is the difference between constrained organisations that want to change, that are well-intentioned and are doing loads of great stuff, and 2 years later they're still doing loads of great stuff and trying to change. They're constrained because they won't relinquish an element of control. Dynamic organisations are ones which thrive in times of change, and the social age is all about constant change. So the next year for me is going to be expanding that work. Some of the pieces around wearable technology, I think we're sort of 2 to 3 years away from practical applications of technology, but it's a mistake to dismiss it. I think that's going to start to become a meaningful part of it. Some very interesting work around measuring return on investment and quantifying engagement in social communities. I'm very interested in that aspect around how we measure the success beyond what the suppliers are trying to sell us, which is social learning management systems, social HR systems, which are not measuring the right things. So the solution will not lie with the technology providers. It will lie with building an understanding within the organisation of what effectiveness is and how we measure it through a basket of tools to do that.
Fantastic.
So that's the next year.
Yeah, not much on your plate then.
No. Easy.
But I can say personally, I find your work really interesting, really inspiring, and but also very practical. You know, and a lot of the things that you articulate, I'm seeing happening. You know, in kind of the front line, if you like. So it's very, very interesting. I'm really pleased we got to have a chat today.
No,
thank you very much for your time.
Being accused of being practical is a big compliment in my world. So, you know, stuff we can do.
No, absolutely. Thanks very much. Cheers.
Thank you.